I was thinking to get up this morning, closer. My friendship. It's my relationships with two certain people, and how they were. One of them was my ex-girlfriend Cynthia. She lives in Virginia, with two kids. The third kid, she has three kids. One of them lives with her dad. He lives with his dad, but and Yana Kokoschka, I used to work with him in Amtech for around a whole year. He used to live in Elizabeth. Then he moved here in Rolway, a couple blocks away. And recently, a couple months ago, a year ago, I went to his house and I was trying to look for him. And they say he moved back to Poland. Kind of odd that it was that I drove to his house. Actually, I don't remember if I drove or I rode a bicycle. I think I drove actually. And there was a guy, supposedly like he just happened to live there or something. I don't know if it was son-in-law or something, because he said, he was sharing a house with them. I said, oh, Yannick's not here anymore. He's in Poland. He just happened to be standing there, just staring at me. Looking at me, not staring, but I was like, all right, whatever. Found his number, and he is disconnected, including his wife. So maybe he did. I don't know. I'm not gonna say he did or not. It's not even about that. I would get nothing from him, even if he was here. And the thing is, crazy lighter. I was thinking about the relationship, and we thinking about Yannick. He always told, even when I was a driver and I used to drive the company truck delivering beer, and he was the helper. We drove all around New Jersey primarily, and he would just always tell us these boxing stories. A lot of times we were driving, we wouldn't talk much, but we would converse. We would talk a lot, it would make it fun. I would even pick random songs to sing about him, his life, just nothing, derogatory, just silly stuff. He would get a chuckle out of it, and then, he would whatever. It was just whatever makeup we would discuss for whatever, and that was a little fun, He had a heart attack, and I felt really bad. Months prior to he said he wasn't feeling well in the morning, and he said we would prep for ourselves, meaning we would take the beer case and we put them on a pallet, and he would shrink wrap. I would help him shrink wrap because he would always tell me, "It's my job. What are you doing?" He's like, I wrap like 2 pallets or something. We got 6 pallets. I wrap 3. You wrap 3. I checked it, and now I can wrap. We finish faster. We get on the truck and we go. But like a month or 2 months prior to that, he just started saying, because we would come in the morning. I tell Janusz Kwiatkowski, I told him, why don't me and Yana come in, and I kind of wanted to prep for everybody. I kind of started doing that. But even for ourselves, he just said, I just, I feel tired, exhausted. And at the end of the day, it was like 2, 3 o'clock, and he was just, he was just hurt. He was just laying down, and he just wanted to go to sleep or something. Not sleep, but he was just exhausted. I told Janusz about that. He's like, well, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? What? I was like, Jesus, And later on, after the heart attack, he was like, see, you could have told me something. You fucking coward. You fucking, you're nasty. You're disgusting, Janusz, I'll get to him about that. That's another thing I want to talk to him about. A lot of other things, but see, I'm going off on a tangent here. Anyway, Yannick over there, he had a heart attack. And, after... it just so happens, like a couple weeks later, June 1st, I believe, I bought my Grand Cherokee, I felt so good. I just feel so awake, It's that feeling of buying a new car. But also, spring was, it was late spring, summer, so, it was like this beautiful day, right? I just felt like alive. I just felt, I was like, man, why don't I just, not go to Virginia where my ex-girlfriend lived? I go to, I don't know, a boardwalk or something, a mall. Just, talk to females, girls, just make new acquaintances. I went to a Amsterdam Alley Bar lounge. It was like 9, 10 in the morning. I think they opened like 9 or something like that. And, So I'm just gonna get one beer just for the taste of it. I was just looking around. It was such a beautiful day, even though it was kind of noisy like that. Not as much though, because I think it was like the weekend or something. It was Saturday, and it wasn't that noisy. But I just had the beer. It was a beautiful day, and before actually, I don't know if I paid before or after. I put the $5 bill. That's what it cost, and I just left. Whole story behind that, but it doesn't matter. I went to Yannick's house. He would tell me a couple times, it comes over here, this and that, I feel, after the heart attack, I'm not walking anywhere. He wouldn't want to go back to Amtech, and I was kind of, I was kind of shocked. I was like, my dad had a heart attack, and they told him he couldn't do any physical work, maybe, a couple months you get fit, you're going to go back to work, and I was like, maybe you're like worried. He's like, I'm just not going to go there, I don't think, this and that, and I just trying to explain, well, you're not in your 60s. He was in the 70s or something like that. He was pushing 80, like mid 70s to late 70s. I'm like, dude, probably, shouldn't be working to begin with. Although, he's a short, stubby guy, but he moved. He moved around. And the thing is, I went to his house that day, and I just wanted to do stuff. But every time I would go to his house, thinking about Jan, he would tell these boxing stories. Jan and Kokoschka, 50s and 60s, the triumph, and it was the same stories about boxing. And it started was like 5 minutes in, we were conversation. That particular day, his wife was there. It was a Saturday, so we were sitting on the front steps. There was no alcohol. I was just talking, and he would always do the same thing. Even later on, when I would go in there like once a month or something like that, just to see him. 5 minutes, I'd be like, well, it worked this and that. Like, when I saw this and that, and I'll try to have a conversation about this and that, and he will pick up a certain word or phrase or an idea that even a little hint what I mentioned, and be like, oh, see about that in 19 this and that. After this fight, I remember, and he would just go 15, 20 minutes just talking about himself and his life of achievements and his incredible life. That particular day, I just couldn't take it anymore. I wasn't mean. I was just all right. Well, I interrupted him, and I just saying, I think I was gonna go to Seaside, maybe talk to a couple girls. Maybe just hit on somebody, hit on a girl, or I might go to the mall, this and that. I was trying to be mean or an asshole. It's just I was looking at his face and his wife's face, and they're just like angry and hateful at me. Hatefulness. What are you so bitter about, huh? It's not about you're an older age and I'm living my life. You just can't stand the fact that I'm happy, or just I won't succumb to your your little life. The thing is, I want my own life. I have things I want to learn and not just achieve, but accomplish and experience. I'm not gonna sit with you by whether on the steps or inside your house and hear your little stories of like 20, 30 years ago, how your glory days. I get it. I want to hear. And after that, cause that must have been what let me see, 2017. Around 2018, 19. It just like I just got exhausted from it. And it's another thing that occurred to me. It's like I wanted to write a book about him. I was like, you have all those stories, and like it's not about people. Oh yeah, I remember that boxer. Let me read it. I think I had a flair for writing, and also what if I find another writer that could proofread it, this and that. And wow, you had great stories about boxing, and even outside the ring, you must have had more stories. Even growing up, you lived in a certain place I liked. Even when he told me his story about, being in a movie theater, he got in a fight with somebody, and, a trainer saw him, and he's like, he come in, and you come in boxing. He was 16. He said he started boxing late, so like that's a great, that's a great prelude to your career, And he always said, he was a bit of a rebel. He fought a lot, But he just always gave me his face. No. Like, he was just like scared, or just, just like, he just wanted to brush it off. He never really talked about it. And I mean, if he, wants to tell everybody his glory days, why not just, tell it through a book, right? I just, and it's like, same thing with Cynthia, I would drive over there, and I told people, sometimes, not all the time, sometimes the best part was the drive down there. You know, especially was when I would get out like 6, and I would hit the turnpike 6 in the morning. I was already on the turnpike here in Carteret, New Jersey. You know, I'm not too crazy about the turnpike. It's kind of a boring ride. I would play the music, especially my Grand Cherry. I got a Bluetooth, so I play Spotify. I never really touch YouTube, but I would just drive over there. It was the ride. Sometimes I would stop on the way on the different stores that I found, and it was it was like a road trip. Even there was good times, but it's like it got to the point it was exhausting. We don't have any fun together. We don't communicate on a certain level. We don't see eye to eye. You don't even like me. What is the point of me being around you? And it's not like I dislike those two people. Not that at all. I really did. I still think about them sometimes, but the negativity and the animosity and you're like trying to bring me down outweighs all the good times. I mean, how foolish can I possibly be any longer, right? Even bought my Grand Cherokee. I went to Yannick's house. I was just showing off. I was just happy. I was like, yeah. He's like, wow, it's a pretty impressive car. I was like, yeah, and I did kind of. They had a Honda. It reminds me of a RAV4. I forget what those Honda SUVs are. And I did kind of just look at it. It reminded me of my mom's car. Because I drove it for like 2-3 years. And I don't think it was about that. And I was like, yeah, this and that has this and that. And Christina, his wife over there, just like annoyed, frustrated, angry. And Yannick over there said, it's just a car. It's like my first week of getting it. You're gonna tell me that, And by the way, Yannick over there, he says he fell off a motorcycle. He never get on a motorcycle or drive a car. Because it was like he bought this motorcycle. It was pretty good price or something back in Poland. You're like they couldn't get those, any of those. You had to have these like little bullions. It was communism tickets. Anyway, he had a motorcycle and he was driving. He told a story. It was a carriage, like a horse and carriage or stuff. That's how, where I come from, the place I come from, in old days, they had those. And it had also bales of hay, he said. Or maybe not even bales, just hay. No, actually it was bales, and one of them fell off of the carriage. He swerved and he fell over. He says for some time, he couldn't even move. He got so scared, I don't know if I told him. I was like, well, what side did you pass it on? And how fast were you going? How fast did it fall and why'd you swerve? Why don't you just pass him immediately? Didn't you look over, Maybe, you're just not expertise to be on a motorcycle to begin with. But, it's like, you don't have experience with that. You don't know how joy it gives me, to drive something like that. And you're going to say it's just a car. I had this one girl tell me that too. I was like showing off. I was like, oh, I like this feature that. It's just a stupid car. When you're a car, you say you can't even go like 50 to 100 miles because you're scared it's gonna break down. Why are you so bitter and hateful then? I mean, I get it. There's a lot of people like that. Just we probably shouldn't be around each other. It's not good for my health. And if you're going to be bitter about something, me being happy or liking something, then go about your way. Just, leave me alone. Pretty that simple, Thing about Yannick Kokoschka is like, I looked him up on the internet, and there's no picture of him. There's other boxers from that time, even earlier in Poland, no pictures of him. There is his name, Yannick Kokoschka. But then Yannick Kokoschka told me, in his town or village around Rzeszów, Święcia, whatever, that's his little village. He's like, there was a lot of Kokoschkas, last names like that, So, and there was a time when, like, I read online about, because there's information, but there's no picture, about boxing events, bouts. And I said, well, this, that day. And he just, he didn't know what I was talking about. And it was like similar, close to the certain event he was talking about. So it's like, what are you doing, bro? And it was nonstop with the same stories. the same stories. I mean, there's one, two. I mean, I could go. There's a dozen stories I heard over and over again. Once it was like twice in a week I heard the same story, and he would go on for like 15, 20, 30 minutes just talking. And you know, in the winter I don't know if I had a form of diabetes or something. I was just depressed, just beaten down from the winter, and my manager Kwiatkowski, and like I go over there and just listen to him. You know, I would go over there and just fall asleep, and you know, he realized I was just falling asleep. He's like, oh, let's talk about something. I was like, nah, I'm just gonna go, man, I'm tired. I don't think I even went to the bar. I just went home and I slept and stuff. I couldn't do it anymore. You know. And you know, it's like you know, you want to relive your glory days in your mind, and he would always say, well, you know, it's because I have these memories. I mean, that's, you know, that's great, but you know, to be in your own mind, or especially around other people, and just be in, like, you know, 40, 50 years ago, I mean, I just, you know, I don't want to do that. And you know, when Yannick there, he was with Amtech with me, you know, we would go to eat lunch, he would interject too, he would tell us stories. Next time we had Kwiatkowski over there, and Krzysztof Strzałka, you know, that guy with the going back to work video, you know, they would just laugh, and you know, they would just try to stop him, or just, you know, just try to like, you know, like, oh, they wouldn't pay attention even, you know, they would just pay attention, just be like this, you know, just like, oh. And after a while, I just, you know, I was angry. You know, we had a disagreement, so I was just, you know, I would fuck with him a little. I started messing with him. He got angry as hell, you know. I mean, I forget what I was saying. I just pissed him off even more. And, you know, one time, it's not just about, and then one time at Bandcamp, one time at Amtech, really nasty stuff. Not like Bandcamp. Bandcamp was pretty cool. This was a 180 degrees different way. Anyway, me, Kwiatkowski, and Strzałka standing around, and Yannick Kokoschka there. Yannick just, you know, I forget what he was saying, but I was like, I said something like, you know, he was like, you know, in Poland, the boxing, you know, he's just not doing too well, especially Stala Rzeszów. I was like, oh, yeah, you beat the fuck out of everybody. Everybody's scared to jump in the ring. And they start laughing, you just look angry. Got mad as fuck. And you know, if I said it person in person, they'd be like, yeah, you would have been like that. You just got frustrated, like, you know. And I don't know if it's that little boy syndrome, inferiority, but it's like, you know, it's that egotism, you know. When he was around other people, especially, not so much Stefan, but that too, you know. I noticed that about him especially. Not just him, but other people too. It's like, you know, why don't you act yourself when you act, you know, around me, and maybe even your wife, when you act around these two buffoons, for lack of a better word, or the manager and his, you know, his little sidekick, you know. Yannick over there is caught feelings. He got really angry and aggravated, and he told me, "Why don't I just punch you in the mouth? Why don't I beat you up?" I was like, "Well, if that's the way, you know, express yourself, and you know, that's the way, you know, why don't you reason things? Let's go." And he didn't do anything. You know, until 2 years later, you know, he told me to go outside, and he swung and he missed, and he almost fell down the stairs. Yeah, that's your little boxer. Consider if he was a boxer, you know, people say, "Oh, he's old. He probably he can't do anything to you." Till that happened, and a day later, I don't know. Kwiatkowski heard about it. He was there, or he was just sensing it. He was recording. I don't know. He knew about it. He was like, he would fuck you up, wouldn't he? He didn't, asshole. He missed. It's like, you know, where's your mentality too? Like, you're illogical. You're an idiot. Same story, you know, Yannick over there told me it's about a random black dude that was trying to rob him, and I think it was a train. It wasn't a subway, it was a train here in New Jersey, I believe. And, you know, he was asking for $1 or something, at least to my knowledge, that's what Yannick said. And, you know, Yannick took out his wallet, and the dude just grabbed his wallet. So, you know, Yannick, being the boxer that he is, he says, he grabbed him by the jacket and just swung him and knocked him out. The guy fell down on the floor, and Yannick just, you know, he took off. And then for 2 weeks, he avoided that train. You know, and I told him, you know, well, you know, you didn't have your papers, you get deported. I don't know if they'll send you here to jail, but, you know, let's say you're a boxer, right? Your D's, as far as I know, you know, you've been legally trained. You know, you could really hurt somebody, including that guy when you knocked him out. Now, he did, you know, try to rob you, right? But you did something much more egregious, you know, and he knew that. But, you know, I wasn't going to tell on him. He kept telling his story over and over again, you know. I just let him know about that, too, you know. I mean, it's like, you know, you say you're a boxer or something, a featherweight. or a puro boxer, a kogucha boxer, you know. It's like a rooster or something. That's what they called it. But it doesn't matter, you know. You like, you know, your first instinct, you swing, you know. You swung really hard, you know. Instead of grabbing the guy, just, you know, try to grab him the floor, rush him. All you did was just, you know, you try to hurt him, you know. Not defending him or the other guy, you know. I'm not getting into that debacle or whatever. But you know, the thing is, it's like thing is, you know, you're a trained fighter. You know, as far as I know, you hurt somebody. That's even worse than a regular person. At least it should be, because you know you have so much knowledge, you know, about that. But at the end, should it really matter? There's people that aren't fighters that could really hurt somebody with a brick. You know, because there is no such thing as dirty fighting according to some people. So what does it even matter, right? And I remember one time, you know, the thing that happened was about gasoline and Amtag. You know, like I took out my $20 and it was cash. It was somewhere on Route 1 going northbound, but it was like 30-40 miles or something south of Elizabeth, and put in the $20. Actually happened two times. I think once was a little bit more. No, actually, the first, it was that was later. The $20 was later. I didn't get compensated for it. The first time was around like close to $50, $47, $48, something like that. And I gave Janusz Kutkowski the receipt, and you know, he looked at it, he's like, "What's this?" I gave him two receipts. One that I paid with the credit card, one I paid my cash. Like, "Oh, you know, just pay me whenever." He's like, "All right, all right." I don't know if he was a joke, he threw it out or something. He's like, "I didn't get it. You didn't dodge me? You gave me? Go home and look for it for the receipt." And he just made this face like he knew he fucked up. You know, I called him and said, "Hey man, let's can work this out." And there was a guy working. You know, it was after Yannick left. His name was Marek Kozlovsky. You know, and he interjected. And he said, "You know, why don't you just let him, you know, Luke fill up his Jeep Grand Cherokee, call it even." You know, I was like, I don't even want it like that. You know, I wanted him to, you know, go and, you know, tell the boss, say, "Yes, I threw up a receipt, this and that. I owe him this money." I never got compensated for that. And actually, you know, I was gonna leave that company. I went to Yannick's house that night, that day that it happened. That he said, "Go home and look for the receipt. What do you want me to do for you?" You know, a lot of anger. He knew he messed up because I saw his face. It's not like he was angry because, you know, I was harassing for the money. You know, it's like he just didn't want to admit he was wrong. You know, $50, $50. But Janos over there cries about going to a restaurant, paying $50 for like a week or 2 weeks because he overspend. What about if you just, you know, I got to put in my own money for your fucking company gas and shit. You never compensate me for it, right? Because the fucking idiot over there loses receipts. What the fuck is that? And then he gives me anger issue. He gives me anger and just, you know, destroys my weekend a week or whatever. You know, and the whole fucking job experience, I hated that fucking place after that. Not so much the job, but every fucking day I went in there, I just fucking couldn't stand looking at his fucking raggedy face. You know, picking his nose and putting on his pants. That's what Janusz Kutkowski really did. And a lot of other things, you know. Anyway, I went to Yannick's house, and he just, you know, he was like, no, I'm a Lucas's side, you know. He just, like, you know, he didn't even, like, you know, he just, you know, he was cowered down a little, you know. Yeah. Great friend, too, by the way. I don't know how a lot of people feel. They go to their job and, you know, first of all, why am I using my own money to put in fucking get? You know how many times I did that? And yeah, I get compensated for it. Then Kwiatkowski over there started, you know, getting angry about me not using my own money. I was like, listen, why don't we have a card for gasoline? Whether it's in one truck was diesel, but it doesn't matter. Just for like Exxon or something, right? Just like a brand name or whatever. You know, I mean, obviously you're not going to get the guys in Delta, the Ruskies, right? They're probably not going to give you that. I don't give a fuck. Or just, you know, and what he would do sometimes, he'd give me company credit card. I mean, what if, you know, I'm not going to get into the criminal side of it. You don't give me, you know, he would give me the company credit card. I would use the company credit card and then give him a receipt and the credit card back. One time I forgot, I had it in my wallet. I didn't give him for like 2-3 days. He got angry about that. This other dude just, you know, said he never had it. For a week he had it in his wallet. I mean, talk about idiots and retards and then blame it all on you. You know, 'cause that's how the fucking world works. especially in iVlog, Vaughn Life, and in reality. So whatever you fucking did, just fucking say I did it. You're fucking morons. And yeah, it's gonna be about Yannick, but I mean, there's just so much shit in that job, and a lot of other jobs too. It's just fucking unbelievable. You know, you people are like, you know, mentally handicapped, and you know, like, you know, you're trying to say I'm retarded. I'm on your level. I'm not. All right. Even though I was a full-blown drunk with addiction problems, I was way better than you, and you know, I was honest. That's it. That's the last part. The latter. Not double D. It's double T. Scaring anybody with spelling and shit. Nobody likes, at least to my knowledge, the honest guy, the real one, the one that has morals and principles. You know, all thieves and criminals stay with each other, and then they grade each other behind each other's back, sometimes to their face, and then they, you know, just go pretend like it's nothing. I mean, you guys are fucking crazy. That's insanity, by the way. You know, I act crazy because I use the word crazy as a slang term and stuff. You know, oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. You know, it's abnormal to some extent, you know, but that's insanity. It's like you're doing the same thing over and over and you expect a certain result. But, you know, I'm just surprised that they made it this far, that, you know, they're like, you know, they make, sustain a living or something, living like that, doing that to other people, doing it to each other. I did lose a lot of health because of that. So that you know, gas before close to $50. Well, it was 47, 48. I don't even give a fuck how much it was, you know. And there was another time it was like 30 and shit. And it's like, you know, it's not just about the money, but it's just like, dude, like, not that you might make, like, you're saying you make like a grand. I don't even care. You know, you're in a position where, like, you know, you should, you know, make things appropriate. And then, you know, you're a multi-million-dollar distributor company, and I gotta give you fucking gas money. I mean, what, I was supposed to go to the boss lady, cry about it, where she would fucking, you know, well, you know, yeah, what, I gotta explain that shit, you know? And I'm the only one that even talked about that, you know, why are we even using our own money for you know, gas? This other guy, Marish, he didn't want to do it, you know? And then, you know, Kwiatkowski would catch fish and start laughing at him when, you know, like it was like a week or something, you know, I still owe me money for, like, I had a receipt, I didn't give it to him. I was like, no, I have it here till, you know, you get me the cash. And then he just walked angry, like, up the stairs. Like, bro, I gotta do this. Bro, you sitting for an hour on your ass. Give me the fucking cash, you faggot. What the fuck I look like to you, little fucking pedowick son? I'm not a fucking, you know, little cunt like the rest of you fucking, you know, friends. You know? Yeah, I'm not even angry anymore. Just, I let that go. By the way, I don't know who says that shit you forgave. I didn't forgive. I just don't think about it every day. I have other things to fucking do. You know, that really fucking aggravated, pissed me off for a long time. I wanted to fucking leave every fucking, not every day, but a lot of fucking times after that shit. You know? And then that fucking idiot's gonna say, well, you know, this guy, Pepe, used to work here. He used to bring receipts when he used to order lunch. He wanted it for like every penny. Like, well, that's what you're supposed to do. Maybe you could round it off a little. Sometimes less, sometimes more. Buy your own fucking food. I'm gonna fucking feed you and shit. Eating fucking milk and noodles and shit and cabbage all day. It's like, you know, well, Yannick wasn't really like that about money. You know, not the way. So he was just over generous with his money. It's like, no, listen, you know, no, it's like $7. I'm like, no, stop it. It's not really like that, you know. It was never like that. There's another kid, Daniel Kubishevsky's like, you know, he'd always like, you know, oh, bro, like, I can't break this money, and I had my debit card. I got you the lunch money. Two or three times I bought him lunch. I was like, you know, nah, I'm not, you know, I can't, I don't want to eat lunch today, bro. Or I just told him, bro, you just pay for yourself, man. Just split, just buy yourself, I'll buy myself. Like, what is that shit? I gotta feed you now when I'm your daddy. Janusz, Danielle, like, I'm your fucking big daddy now. And you're gonna hate me because you hate daddy. You assume you got daddy issues. There's a psychological thing with you. Are you fucking, you know, mentally handicapped? Because you really are. You know, calling you faggots would just, you know, it degrades you. I don't even like to use that word. I could get really deep and, you know, not sinister, just, you know, honest about your personality and your psychology. Barbecue lighted. Well, I hope they're meaning that tastes good, faggot. Such a loser. Always with the jokes. Gotta laugh. You know, a day without laughter is a day wasted. Even when you're laughing at somebody's expense, I mean, sometimes you have to, because you know what? If you don't, they'll walk all over you. Sometimes laughter is, laughter is the best medicine. There was a joke about that. I'm not gonna get into that. It's an old one, but still a goodie. You know, you have to ridicule some people to a certain extent when, you know, you give them respect and they walk all over you. They lie, manipulate you, they steal from you, and they degrade you. You know, so ridiculing them, you know, over and over is better. And yeah, and I'm I did, for lack of a word, lose my cool. I got rage in front of Batka there before, you know, I was fired. You know, I didn't even know what scum and, you know, how horrible they were. You know, I couldn't do it anymore. Just couldn't take down their nonsense. You know, like I'm that horse from Animal Farm or something, huh? I'm gonna work for you pigs. 'Cause I'm not turning into a pig. But it's better. Lepiej mieć garba z roboty niż brzucha z pracy. Well, you know, I have neither. You can have that and that if you want to. I don't even understand that. I don't even like that either. Because I don't want to have a hunchback from work either, you know? I'm talking about recuperating after work, you know? I usually do. Not always. On account of some people, it's really difficult. And as far as beer, yeah, it does stagnate to a certain degree, but, you know, you gotta limit yourself, and you gotta do other things to alleviate that as well. So take your little phrase somewhere else, homie. Your little Polish idioms. And your culture and shit. Your boxing career. And your great Tatra beer. Yeah, it's your fucking Tatra. Just don't drink it all at once. You know, it hurts. That's actually much better, actually. Never tried it, but it just... I have an intuition about that now. They're both bad, drinking wise. But you could run a car on Tatra. Shit is nasty. But anyway, just a morning vlog video with the cell. You know, not the one majority of you want me to be behind. But or in, but just a journal entry. My daily I try to have a journal entry. And there is Apollo yelping, you know, I don't want to say crying, but he's I guess he's alone. So yeah, that's my story. And I'm sticking with it. Because it sure as hell is true. Yeah. I mean, you come across people in your life that, you know, you probably should have just left them out. Or just, you know, went somewhere else. But if a lot of places are like that, a lot of people are like that, what are you supposed to do? Well, just live your life.